Hello, everyone, and welcome to the next episode of Language Talks. We are in conversation today with a writer and translator from Kolkata who is also passionate about folk tales from all over the world. She is an avid reader and finds opportunity to live in different locations in India and know people from different cultural backgrounds. She says experience encourages her to write stories. She also works on literary translations of Bengali and German folk tales collected by the 19th and 21st century scholars. She narrates these folk tales on her YouTube channel called as Cobblestone Myths. Let us talk to her and know more about her passion for the folk tales. Hello, Kathakali.
Hello. Hello, Narita. Nice to meet you.
Same here. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you very much for calling me.
You're welcome. I would like to start by asking you about your journey with folk tales. Like, how did it begin? And what first drew you to this rich oral tradition of folk tales?
Uh, it happened early in my childhood, like everyone else, as it happens. I was drawn to stories.
Mhm.
Remarkable in my case was probably that my journey began with, instead of Indian folk tales, began with Russian folk tales and Aesop's fables, Bengali tales, of course. Bengali tales of Upendra Kishore Rai Chaudhuri. He was a grandfather of the great Satyajit Ray. He was a eminent folktale collector of 19th century. So these three, Russian folktales were available in those days everywhere in West Bengal, freely available, and my father bought lots of story books, and that way. Uh, then I developed a rich collection of picture books, a wonderful escape for as I was an introvert child. Uh, Wonderful escape for me. Later, as I chose Sanskrit for my graduation and post graduation, that introduced me the rich oral tradition of ancient India. That was another milestone. People stories I found often they were unpolished. Most of them, the Sanskrit stories, those days they were completely unpolished and systematically documented only during the colonialist era. I'm thankful to colonialism for that, because of that. They did a lot. And that rekindled my love for folktales once again. I mean, I studied more, learned more. Then, as I started learning German in Goethe Institute later, those exposed me to other European folktales, and then only I discovered some common elements between folktales of European folktales and Indian folktales. There were many things common. I found the travel journey of Aesop's fables from India to Europe. I found information about them, and at that time I didn't have an idea of the folktale studies as a academic discipline. Of course, in West Bengal we didn't have the scope, but I imagined a possibility of working with them. You may say someday I will work with them in distant future. I didn't have an idea when. That way, you may say my interest took root maybe 25 years ago, 25, 30 years ago.
Okay, that is way back, isn't it?
Way back, way back. Though
Uh,
I started writing, translating folk tales around 10 years ago.
okay.
But this idea of generating YouTube videos is very new, very new. After this AI things came, otherwise it wouldn't be possible for me.
Okay.
I can't. so, so that
So,
way, yeah, folk tales was a long association. Started much later.
nice. So, over these years, when you have been studying and collecting them, so what personal meaning have folktales acquired for you beyond their narrative value?
Beyond the narrative value, while studying folk tales, I discovered how humans, irrespective of geography, weave their experiences into tales. And this happens across time, across their cultures. Now, we divide oral tradition. This is folktale is a part of what oral tradition. Oral traditions we can divide into three major categories. One is folktales, another legends, another myths. And all carry collective memory. All carry collective memory. How communities explain their world. They preserve their values and expressed their emotions, their hope, their ambition, their fear, everything. So, at a personal level, I found them to be cultural breezes. When I meet people from outside my community, especially those who are deeply rooted in their culture, I sometimes take help of their folk tales to understand them. I mean, how they imagine world, their faith, their way of expressing empathy. It's not the same everywhere. I mean, in West Bengal, we express in a different way. In Maharashtra, we express in different ways. There are differences, and when cultural conflict happens, and when we try to know each other, I especially take help of folk tales. I try to understand people through folk tales. So, for example, there are gods and goddesses everywhere. Now, there are a lot of difference in how we worship gods and goddesses. I mean, as I was telling you, as I met my Marathi friends, Southern friends, I saw they expect me to visit temples frequently.
Okay.
What I don't do in West Bengal. I mean, God stays in a temple inside home, and temple visit is not a must. So I realized there would be something that must be different that lies in, lies in the folk tales probably. So I started comparing our folk tales. Our kind of folk tales developed in a way that they're more secular. If I use that, if I use that word, I mean, secular itself is not clear about me. I mean, I'm not very clear about the word, but still, the way. And theirs is a little bit different. For example, you have to submit. For example, in Karnataka and Kerala, they submit to their gods, to the demigods. In our case, demigods is not very important. I mean, demigods means, guligas in Karnataka or Kutichatan, fear someone. I mean, people submit to them, people visit their temples. In our case, it is not there. In Odisha, you have village protective goddesses, Gram Devi, we call them. That is not there in West Bengal. So our relationship is very, we have certain festivals. It's kind of a friendly thing, and it's more of a community thing. I mean, the fishermen go to one god, other communities go to another. So it's different.
Correct.
So at personal level, folktales help me to,
understand the culture.
Find a breeze, understand the culture.
Oh, that's a nice idea.
So, people's voice, I mean, living thread, you may say that folktales are living thread of people's voices. So, I find my heritage when I see Bengali folktales, that I did go through them, and I find my heritage here. And when I go to other folktales from other regions, I find them in their tales, and then try to find similarities and dissimilarities both.
Right.
Certain things, certain elements are similar, certain are different.
Okay.
So,
that's how it is.
That's right.
So, Kathakali, if we say that folk carry the collective memory of societies, so isn't it? Or would it be right? I mean,
it's collective memory. It's collective memory. Now, there are very good examples. For example, now I remember. I was going through some tales, German folk tales on Mandrake. They discovered it around 1200 years ago. Mandrake, a poisonous plant,
Okay.
the hallucinogenic one.
Hmm.
So ancient Europe found it. They found the character, what it does, and they also found that the root of the plant looks like the lower part of the human body. So they
Okay.
associated with the supernatural, some
Huh.
supernatural activity,
Hmm.
magical thing. So they this memory itself is, I mean, integrated, incorporated in the tales.
Ah, okay, got it.
And then comes the another story I remember is Dogs of Britain. One tale about a dog, how the in a city, it's a legend actually. How it was faithful, that how it served the master, or the opposite, how it cheated the master. There are two tales. So something happened. Either the dog served or the dog cheated,
Okay.
and and a tale was developed. And they placed a dog statue in Britain. Then, like this, we have stories on Frederick I Barbarossa. Many tales, many Frederick, many Holy Roman emperors were integrated in certain tales in the name of Frederick I. He's still alive under a mountain.
Okay.
So people had memories. He was a leader in the crusade. So people hero worship him, of course. He was a hero at that time. And tales developed. Their memories are there. In India, we have Krishna. There were probably some memories. He's a mythical character. We don't know whether he existed or not, but we believe that he existed.
Correct.
And that collective thing comes in the folk tales. Krishna's tales, Krishna's childhood.
Yeah, right.
Whatever. I mean, so once you access these kinds of stories, what happens is we automatically turn into history books and start investigating. What happened if there was really a person like that? And sometimes we discover amazing chain of historical events. So yeah, collective memory is manifests in folk tales.
Okay. So going back to your beginning of this research and collecting, which particular folk tale did you find interesting, and how did you start researching or collecting them? So what moment, or was there any particular folk tale which drew you to this passion, lifelong passion, I would say?
No. First folk tale I read in my life, remember, is Masha and the Bear. It was a story with a bear and a little village girl. It's a Russian folk tale. But no, I didn't. It was a cultural encounter in a way,
Okay.
and it's a story in a way, but it didn't instigate anything else. I mean, I was just devouring stories at that time. Long-term engagement, I think it started with not with a particular folk tale, but with the book. Discovery of Grimm's original Grimm's version. As a child, I read translations for children. Those are written for children. Many things are lost in that. During my Goethe Institute days, I found a copy of original Grimm's version, and then I realized that similar to our Kathasarit Sagar, European folktales are also made for adults, not only children's stories. And some are actually adult stories, if we use today's definitions. Those days they didn't. I mean, in till medieval era, there were nothing called children's stories. Stories were collected, stories were told for everyone. Everyone received that, listened to that. There was nothing. But these days, yeah, the way we differentiate stories, there are many adult stories. Some stories you will understand only as an adult person. children wouldn't get into it. And these were interesting. That I found most interesting thing about folk tales, that it can be, I mean, stories could be for everyone, the same story, for every age group. So, and then came cultural encounter also. I mean, as I told before, meeting Indians outside West Bengal in my workplace, I was discovering people, and folk tales were helping me that way. I needed to understand people. And when you
Correct.
meet more people, when you have to work with people, you are and you are not getting them, you are not getting them. No one is there to help you. There are folk tales to understand, and that provided information. And that way, I mean, after I started reading them seriously, and in course of time, they became hobby. I mean, reading folktale, working with folktale.
Correct. You have been reading folktales from not only India but around the world, right? So, what common human values do you find? What is the common thread that goes on in all these tales?
It's a quest for identity and transformation. Number one, everyone wants to know their identity in every folktale, everywhere. They found Noah's Ark. We developed Manu Katha, almost the same tale. Where is our origin? Everyone wants to know. And um Santals has creation of animals story. They have gods like Maranguru, Maranbudhi. They created the world. Who created the world? How we are created?
Okay.
Our origin. That is a common everywhere. And then comes community culture. Communities, when a community forms, I mean, after 100 years, they don't know where they were originated from, how they were originated from. They find folk tales. They create folk tales, develop folk tales. Nayars come from Nagas. We in West Bengal, we come from some king named Adishur who never existed. I don't know whether he existed or not, but all Bengali is my clan of Brahmins. They claim that they came during the reign of Adishur. So these kind of tales, myths uh, about the origin of human being, about their society, about a community. This is common everywhere.
Okay.
Then transformation of an entity. That is also a common thing.
Okay.
For example, uh, God changes a person into a stone, or vice versa. That story is there in the German folktale. Someone committed some sin, and God transformed him into a stone. Same thing happened in our Ramayana. Uh, yeah, Ram goes to Indra's wife. He was turned into a stone. Sorry, she Gautam's wife, I think. Uh, she turned into a stone, and then she was resurrected. So these are common things. Another thing is transformation, self-transformation. One entity transforms himself into another. So we have in Bengali we have a interesting Mainamati tales, Siddha stories. Uh, it, these stories developed almost 1,000 years ago, where the Siddha, the knowledgeable one who knew magic, knowledge was compared to it was uh, compared to magic also. I mean, what to say? Magic and knowledge was the same. Knowing magic is having knowledge about the world. They explained it that way. So one Siddha could transform himself into a lion, then a bird, then into something else. So like that, into a horse. Same thing we have in German folk tales. Their knowledge of magic, sorcerers does it very frequently in German tales, uh, changing into animals. This we find also in our tribal tales, transformation tales. Another common theme is struggle between good and evil. There are good
Okay.
and there are evil. But now, interesting thing is moral lessons differ. Ethics and morals, idea about ethics and morals, they differ a lot. In Christian influenced Europe, moral is different. Good always win over evil, and evil is wiped.
Right.
It's a rule when the rule of God is established. Evil cannot stay. Want to answer this question, I want to add another common theme, that is importance of community and kinship.
Oh, okay. Yes.
You have to be loyal to your family and community. That is everywhere. I mean, you have to serve the people. You have to serve your family, and if you don't serve, there is a punishment. God will punish. Now, responsibility towards the society, then love, power of love, and you may say most of the folk tales value intelligence above wealth everywhere. Tribal folk tales everywhere respect the nature, and justice and retribution are only thing that is mostly common but not everywhere. I mean, there is difference.
Okay.
But yeah, these are the common things we find everywhere.
I mean, there are a lot of common themes, isn't it?
Yeah, there are a lot of common things.
Very interesting. Yeah. Folktales communicate moral values, but indirectly. And there is
Indirectly.
we find a lot of animals, trees talking, rivers also. So how does one look at all this? I mean, this is very, very different from the normal human human tales, right?
Yeah, normally we story writers write human tales. And folk tales, they integrate everything in nature in a story. Everything is nature is alive. I mean, they picked up, for example, they thousands of years ago. Our Panchatantra tales was developed first around 3rd century BC. They integrated animals
Okay.
into tales. I think compare human characters with human animal characters, it's sometimes difficult, especially if we are in a monarchical system of administration. You cannot tell directly. You cannot tell everything directly.
Right.
The king can get angry on you. So to show human character in a short story, I can write it directly that this human was like that, this was like that. I mean, it's possible. In those days, I think it was not possible. And that is one reason. Another reason, I think, to make children aware of the nature surrounding them, they integrated those animals as talking animals. So this way they started, and then there are other natural elements, the river, these came mostly in tribal folktales, rivers and trees and plants. Everyone talks, everyone communicates.
Okay.
And which so that way it came, but in Christian folktales, no, not much. It differed a lot. When we started the history of folktales is, if I take it around 2,500 years, they changed their course.
Okay.
If you come to modern tales, they changed once again. Modern folk tales are another story.
Okay.
Oh yeah, integration happened.
How do you see these new forms of folk tales that are emerging in modern societies?
Modern societies, we have modern folk tales, different type of folk tales. Folk tales are there, they didn't vanish, they migrated, I would say. They reshaped and renewed. We have urban legends these days.
Right.
We have superhero stories. Politics is a common theme. Politics was there 3,000 years ago. It is here. So political leaders become our leaders, our heroes.
Right.
Sometimes we don't know about them. We create tales. Myth starts brewing. So that way, uh, communal myth comes up. Superhero stories comes up. I mean, the DNA or the structure is almost the same. I mean, traditional folk tales and these
Modern.
collective. The only thing is they have modern elements. So they evolve with retelling. They reflect our hope, our fear, as reflected in traditional folk tales. But the characters are different. For example, we have superheroes like even comic characters like Tintin. He evolved. Superheroes like Hulk evolved mostly through Marvel comics. Harry Potter, I shouldn't forget him. They are growing.
Right.
Yeah. So there are modern storytellers like Dan Brown and all. They created successful modern folk tales. Now, only thing is the surroundings changed. Villagers don't sit around a storyteller and listen to stories. And now people gather before the TV screens. They sit sometimes mostly alone before the laptop or the mobile in hand. And yeah,
I
they
think
connect to, yeah.
so. The theme remains the same. The media is changing, print to digital.
It's changing. Print to digital.
Great. Yes. So if someone wants to work seriously with folk tales, research, collect them, research them, think about it and write about it. So what qualities do you think are required, are essential for that person to do so?
Yeah, essential qualities. Number one, folktale studies is academic discipline now in some colleges and schools, in colleges and high schools and abroad. So there they have some, academic guidance how to do it. I didn't learn that way. I read and read and read, but many folklorists evolved like that also. I mean, they were professional. They did something else professionally, attracted to folk tales, and then started collecting. And that way, it is also possible. So, first thing you need is openness. Biased mind cannot collect folk tales, cannot connect to folk tales. I belong to a certain society, certain class of people, certain financial strata. Tales doesn't always evolve around me. People's tales are there. If I have to collect them, I have to connect with their history, connect with their mindset, understand them, and that openness has to be there. And then the patience to hear voice. Now, for a folktale collector, we may not be able to connect instantly with the people, storyteller. So we need the patience to convince them to tell stories. Number one. Then curiosity, of course, another. You have to be curious because you get tales, but stories behind the tales, if you have to discover it as a folklorist or folktale collector, the main job is finding stories behind the story or history behind the story. For that, you need curiosity.
Yes.
And then another thing, I think, in this digital era, one should have the urge to reach people. Folktales we collect, and if I keep it to myself, doesn't make any sense. So
that is so true.
Preserving in the archives is not enough. So that experience also I had with some folklorists who don't want to share.
Okay.
That is terrible for the folktale itself.
Right. Then translations have played such a significant role in transferring tales from one country to another or one region to another. And I think that has been done before and is being done till now and will be done forever, isn't it?
Yeah, Yeah. Folktales, in fact, doesn't survive without translation. We have to translate. Now, that is why I was telling you that I admire colonialists. Previously, our Mughal rulers, some of the Mughal rulers in India, we talk about India itself. The rulers tried to preserve some stories. Then came the Britishers. The Britishers did a magnificent job uh, in in their all of their colonies. They collected folk tales and preserved it, translated it.
Hmm.
And that way only, I mean, that happened long before the colonialists. If we think about the journey of our Panchatantra towards Europe,
Right.
Panchatantra was, it is, we first find the first trace of Panchatantra in 3rd century BC. Then it traveled to Middle East.
Okay.
Then through Middle East, through the traders, most probably the traders. Traders traveled from here to Mediterranean, to Europe, and they found the stories interesting. They translated in. There were Arabic versions, and then Persian versions, and then it became Aesop's fables, same stories in
Yes.
Europe.
Yes.
So that way, translation keep them alive. Now, I wanted to share a personal experience. I knew I had an acquaintance, a professional folklorist. He collects folktales from his region and archives them. Long back, several years back, I asked him if they translate those stories, and I didn't know about all these stories and how they are. Didn't have any idea. He keeps it. He came with the answer that surprised me, that they don't need he doesn't want to translate them. He thinks that there are
Okay.
enough people in his community who will keep them alive. Outsiders doesn't need to know them. So this has terrible consequence.
Oh, okay. This is something different.
I mean, if they are not translated, they won't survive in any archive. So people need to know what
Yeah.
you have. So translation has massive importance. Massive importance, not only massive importance, I would say without translation, folktales won't survive anywhere. We have to keep on translating.
Right.
For example, I was working with Bengali folktales. That was almost when vanished from people's memories, went into oblivion, you may say. 1,000-year-old tales, some medieval Bengali tales.
Oh,
People
wow.
don't talk about them any longer. Bengali people, I mean, they cannot even associate, perhaps. That was one reason. But then, if I translate, I mean, they carry history of Bengal, social history of Bengal, cultural history of Bengal. There's a big task. I can't do everything else, everything together. But they need to be translated.
Right. I mean, yeah, there are so many threads and so many things embedded in one folktale. It's cultural,
Yeah. That's
social,
it.
emotional, so many things.
True.
True. Oh, nice. Oh, wow. This was a lovely conversation. I personally am a big fan of folktales. I also started from Russian folktales, so I enjoyed this.
Uh-huh.
And I could relate to everything what you were saying.
Yeah. So it was nice to meet you and talk to you. So
Sure, same here.
openly,
And about your YouTube channel, so which
yeah.
folktale are you reading, narrating there just now?
Right now, I am working with Grimm's Sagen. Sagen are folktales that are, again, people almost forgot about them. They are mostly associated with particular places, locations. So I'm trying to make films on that. I mean, AI videos on that. And along with Sagen, I will try to work with longer folk tales, but not with Grimm's. There will be there are other folktale collectors like Joseph Hartrich.
Okay. So,
So those storytellers' tales, I will try to.
Acha.
There will be longer videos, of course.
Oh, nice. I wish you all the best for them.
Thank you very much.
And I look forward to watching them. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Sure. I'll upload more. And one thing is there. Now I started with very tiny tales, and 2 to 5 minute videos, and it is going to be longer. I
Acha.
cannot help it. And,
Yeah, I mean,
I have to include longer stories, and yeah, in coming months there will be longer tales
certainly.
and more descriptions. And sometimes I have to, I think, write a note also, because otherwise it's difficult to connect with them historically.
That is true.
So there will be notes and
Right. Yeah, I mean, this is a lot of work, isn't it?
lot of work. Just started. Let's see how it goes on.
Sure. I wish you all the best for your project. And
Thank you very much.
good. Thank you so much for accepting my invitation and to join on this talk show. Thank you.
Thanks.
Everyone for joining me in conversation with Kathakali. See you in the next episode. Till then, have a good day. Bye bye.